Welcome back, home racing fans. We're taking a look at the very latest from Slot.it, the Opel Calibra. This is from the DTM Series 1995, part of the Slot.it Classic DTM Series. Third car in the series now. We've had the Alphas, and finally we have a third player, and I'm happy to see it. The car, it doesn't have that kind of curb appeal on this side of the pond. Not a lot of people recognize it or identify with it. But as a slot car, to get together and race in your home or club, having this third car is pretty significant, because just like with my track, I have a 3-lane track. Now I got a third player. Now we're getting somewhere. We're getting we're getting to where we're having more in the series, and that's just going to make it more interesting. And it's only been less than a year since the first one was released, so we're getting there. Now we finally got the third player. On the outside, it's well done enough. Prototype photos show Slot.it's done their usual job at bringing us a balance of, scale authenticity and then performance. And make no mistake, these cars are made for performance. These bodies very light, half-tray interior. The inside is, aluminum wheels in the rear. You got your standard Slot.it motor, 9 to 28 gearing. Of course, it's the same as the other ones, so they're all going to be very close in performance. This car is a little lower, slightly longer wheelbase, but they're going to be very, very competitive. And that's really the important thing with a Slot.it car is, it has to look good. We know that. In 1/32 scale, that's what we want. We want good detail level, which this car has roll bar, markings on the dashboard, drivers highly detailed. But it also has to run good. That's what a Slot.it is all about. And the price point of these cars now, the value that they bring, has always been hard to beat. And aside from the fact that you may or may not be all that excited about 90s DTM cars, I understand that, but a lot, that can be said for a lot of series in our hobby. And then once you start racing them, the appeal is there. I've known some old DTM cars from Ninco that no one didn't know about until we started racing them, and then all of a sudden they were a house favorite. Anyway, we're going to get right to the running of this car. I'm going to put some Paul gauge tires, some quick slicks on here. I'll just test both kinds. I'll probably go with Paul gauge this time. I have quick slicks on this, Paul gauge on this one, so I'll just flip a coin. Both of them perform well. I look forward to running it. I'm really glad to see this third car in this series. So we're going to get right to the road test. But overall, job well done, Slot.it. Just a quick word on the tires that I'm using and why I like the inline sometimes is that you can put a little wider tire back here without interfering with the gear with angle winder and some side winders. You're restricted here, but with the inline you're not. As you can see, there's plenty of room here for you to add a pretty wide set of tires back here. So what I did was, instead of using the standard size, is I used a Paul gauge 2012-5 for this car. It gives it just a little bit more width than the stock tire, so more tire to the road, more grip. I found in the other Alphas that this is really a hot setup. It works really well. So these are the tires I use. They've been sanded and cleaned and ready to go. Just a word on experimenting with different size tires for your own track. Before we get to the road test, I just want to show you what I've done. I've added some Paul gauge tires, sanded them, trued them, cleaned them up. They're ready to go. I oiled the rear axle bushings, a small drop on each end of the motor, and a little bit up front. It does help. And I've also added some lead. Now, I can't tune these cars to every club's certain rules, so I don't have any rules. So I tune them for my track. And in this case, I put the lead on the inside, a little bit on the outside here, and some up front, and I left the bar magnet in place. It doesn't do anything but add a little weight back there anyway, non-magnet track. With that being said, we're looking at now the chassis is 59.08 grams. So we only added a little bit, but a little goes a long way. I use a In my cars, I have a 1 mil thick lead sheet that is for roofing. You can get it at Lowe's, Home Depot, hardware store. And I ordered some 3M self-adhesive backed material, and I put them on here by the large sheet, and then I cut and trim and peel and stick, and that's how I do it. So again, we're right at 59 grams now for the chassis. Total weight now of the car, we'll get it zeroed there, is 76.46, which is still pretty good, and the weight is pretty much where it needs to be, down low. It usually ends up with a good result on our track, so we shall see. Well, there you have it. This car is just silky smooth and quick, just like I hoped. Actually, I knew it would be. It's a Slot.it. That's just what you get. You get a lot of quality in a Slot.it car. You always have. I don't think that's ever going to change. They do a great job bringing us a performance-oriented car, along with the scale accuracy. So just a little bit of lead, some Paul Gates tires. You pick your own tire blend that works for your track. But overall, I'm really pleased with this car. I think anyone that's interested in this series or looking for a good value performance-wise in the performance arena of slot cars, at your club or home, you really got to give these Slot.it inline DTMs a second look, a really close look, because they give you a lot of bang for your buck. So overall, job well done. Very pleased with this release. I hope to hear from more of you out there on your thoughts.